Hey everyone, this is Andres with Funnel Marketer, and today we're going to go over how to make a HubSpot form. All right, so when you log into HubSpot, you're going to have to go into Marketing, Forms, and here you're going to get a lot of different options when you hit Create a Form. You can have a standalone page, a pop-up one, drop down, different sides of the page. For this video, we're going to do an embedded form. Okay, so that one is already selected. So we're going to go into next, and you have a few options here too. You can go off of registration, contact us, one, newsletter, and these are always preloaded. Downloads, event registration, everything like that. I always prefer starting off with a blank one just because you have a lot more options and you have a blank canvas. So hit start. And this is when it starts getting fun. So, right now, the only contact property that you got right there is email. We're going to hit first name, last name, phone number, and that's all we're going to do for now. We're just going to create a very basic one. So from here, what I want to make sure also is I want to make sure that whatever I do need is required. So require first name, require last name, and all placeholder text can be something simple like for last name, I know some people call it surname, so we can add that as well, and that's going to appear right here in this little box. Default value can also be what's actually going to appear right here. So that's kind of how you can play around with. I prefer the clean look. So I'm just going to keep those empty, but I am going to make sure that this is required, and same thing with the phone number. And the way to make sure that it's actually required is get the little asterisk. I feel like we're all familiar with that. So then you have a bunch of other properties that you can use. Then once you hit other elements, one thing I always highly recommend is a CAPTCHA, just to keep the bots from bothering you. You have other contact properties. I don't really think, from all intent and purposes, you're going to need any of these, especially in a form that's just hanging out on your website. And then ticket properties, again, I wouldn't worry about that right now. So then the cool thing about this is you can add a lot of other different parts. So once you hit create new, I can give the form a title. So once I put this here, I can come into this little box and change it to whatever I want. I can change colors. I can pretty much add wherever I want, even add some emojis. So I have that in place. I'm going to be done with that. And again, they have a lot of properties. So if you want to add, a little caption of why you need the first name, or say something along the lines of, we will not be sharing your contact information with anybody else, you can definitely add that. You can add a checkbox. You can add drop downs. You can add even the little buttons so you can click one or the other. And things like that. You have a lot of different options here. So that's always pretty cool. I always thought that was fun. Then once you have this all set up, I would go into the follow-up. So the follow-up is you can create a follow-up email. We're going to go over that in a second. Now, if you don't set this up, it's just going to give them a thank you and not do anything else and just create that contact for you. So if you don't want to set this up, that's totally fine. I actually suggest not setting this up and creating a template email and then creating a workflow in order to send that email out, just because you're going to have a lot more options. But for this video, we're going to create the follow-up email. So here, it's coming from me. You can change that if you want to. And this is the type of email subscription that whoever fills out this form, they're going to go specifically into this one. And then just make sure when you create a workflow, that's also what's going to be in there. But so you put the subject line in, you're going to create the body, but that's it. So that's all you really have. And you can't add pictures. You can't add any buttons. You can't have, a video if you wanted to. So that's why I just think it's a little clunky and a little old school. So again, if you want to set it up that way, that's totally fine. If you don't set it up, here's what's going to happen. It's going to go into pretty much just a thank you message. which is totally fine, which is great. You have the other option of redirecting to another page, and you can add an external link. Or if you have pages set up on HubSpot, it can lead you directly to that. But if you're going to do this, I just suggest an external link. I'm personally not a fan of that. So we're just going to go with the thank you message. Again, simple and straightforward. You can change the actual message as well. And then here's another cool feature. So if somebody sends this, whoever you decide can get a notification to follow up with them. So you guys can definitely set that up. That's a good thing to have. And then over here, it has pre-populated contact fields as a default. And that's fine. I am a fan of, if somebody puts in a new email, to create a different contact. That way you can reach out to them several times. I'm sure we've all at some point put a email that wasn't correct into a form so we wouldn't get the spam from it. And then once you're done setting all that, you can go to style and preview, and you can see what it's going to look like on your website, right? And straightforward form. Again, you can change the color of the button. You can change all that. And then once you're set with all this, you're going to come over here and hit embed. So you can either share this link with your developer or just share the code. I always find that the code is easier. So you embed the code, and if you're working on your own website, this is all you get a copy and use that to set up your form. And that's a very straightforward way of just getting your forms ready, getting them into your website, and making sure that you get the correct information. And again, when it comes to follow-ups, a little bit clunky. If you want to use it, totally up to you. But this is how to set up a form on HubSpot. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Have a good one.